Okay, so now we have our app up and running because in the last video, we got our server set up after we had installed React using Create React app, which installed React scripts, React DOM, and React. And if you actually look, there's 1,923 packages that make up a React app. React is a library, and a library is just a bunch of code that somebody else has wrote that relies on a bunch of other pieces of code that other people have wrote to come together and give us a service. And in this case, the React service, it allows us to combine presentation, functionality, and style into single components. And that's really at the core of React. And you can see in this source folder right here, all of these components. Well, we actually only have one right now. In this case, it's an app component. And if you click on this app.js file right there, you will see that this is actually our entire React app right now. This whole app right here, this whole thing, comes from this app.js file. And this whole app.js file there's a lot of stuff here that you look at it, you're like, I do not know what this is. And again, that's totally fine. I do not expect you to know this stuff. I do not expect you to get it. Do not worry, it's not a big deal. We're gonna learn all this stuff in time, but in fact, we're gonna go in here and delete almost all of this anyway. So actually, don't trip, don't worry. Just like take a look, peruse through it for a second. I'm gonna pause this video. I want you to look in the app.js and the index.js because these are all the things that actually make our app work. And now you might be saying to me, hey, where's our HTML file? Because right here, this is HTML. So where's all this HTML coming from? Does anyone want to take a guess? Okay. Yeah, I mean, yes, you're correct. All of this stuff is making the HTML. That's a good way to look at it, yeah. And if you look in the public file, you'll actually see an index.html. So actually go ahead and open that up and see what it looks like. If you hop in here, you'll see, okay, all this stuff, cool, title React app. Oh, that's what it says up there. Okay, interesting. I like this. Let's see what else we have. No script, and then we have one div inside the entire body. Huh, a div with the ID of root. Do you see that? Yeah, that's weird. So how is this div with the ID of root becoming this whole thing? Yeah, absolutely, yes. Well, in a sense, yes. This app.js is somehow, all this code is somehow making the index.html, that one div with ID of root, become this app. And actually that's how the entire app is gonna work. We're gonna write all of this JavaScript inside the source folder, and it's going to render, the thing I was talking about before, Webpack, is going to bundle all your files together, and it's going to essentially insert it inside this div with the ID of root. That's a good way to think about it. And you can see it'll give you some explanation as to what's going on here, all this good stuff. But for now, that's really it. That's like, you peruse the app, you see some things, you see, hey, we have some CSS files. That's pretty normal. We recognize those. We have, excuse me, an app.js file, which is somehow creating our app. Excuse me. Ooh, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, yes, I'm okay. No, thank you for your worry. I made it. Where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So this whole little JavaScript section, we see here that we needed React DOM, and we see on line 7 that this React DOM is actually coming in handy right here where it says React DOM.render the app. And this app is coming from this app.js file, and it's getting rendered to something that we actually do recognize, document.getElementById root. So this line right here, React is somehow getting everything in the app.js file, taking all of that weird nonsense in here, and rendering it on line 7 into document.getElementById root, which is in this index.html file. So that's really all you need to know about that. That is how React works. Well, not really. There's a lot of abstractions that actually make this whole process work, but that is all you need to know about what React is doing to actually make React apps. Everything else, we're just going to write JavaScript. And that's the coolest part about React, is that you just end up writing JavaScript and it builds your app. The best part about it, though, is that most of the JavaScript you write will be recognizable. And so we're going to spend the next couple videos doing some normal JavaScript to make this app work.